I actually filmed this before, that's why this video is coming out quite late, but I did not like how it ended up looking like. I think I was going through quite a depressive mode, so the energy was very low in the video and it just didn't look that good. So I decided to refilm it. That is why it's late, but I still wanted to talk about my favorite media and art that I consumed in March of 2025, because people really enjoyed the last video that I made, and I also like to do this like report, and probably later in my life I would like to look back at it and check how I was feeling, what I was like reading, watching, etc. At this stage of my life. So, and I have a little list of things that I want to talk about. Also, I'm filming outside. It might look nice, but it's quite cold. So I need to finish this soon. I'm going to start with movies, and I watched how many? 3. So I have watched 3 movies in March, and the first one that I want to mention is actually a movie that I saw in cinema, and it is called Mickey 17. You probably have heard of it. It has the actor that I still don't remember the name of. I know that he played Edward Cullen in Twilight, and I want to say that his actual name is Edward, but it's not. It's Pattison. Pattison is his last name. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about. But this movie was very good. It's basically about the future and how they are sending people. They're sending people to populate different planets, etc. So in that not so distant future as it seems, people are being sent to different planets to colonize them, and there is this program where they clone different people to basically create experiments on them and record what they were thinking while they were dying, exposed to toxins, etc. And Mickey, the main character, is one of those people, and that is why it's called Mickey 17 actually, because there were 17 versions of him by the time that the movie was starting. So I don't want to actually spoil it a lot, but it did comment quite a lot on modern political climate. So there was this president guy who had very similar mannerisms to one orange man that we all know and hopefully don't love. And there were like little people behind him who would always like his yes man, and also reminds you of some billionaires. There were also aliens in that movie, and they were quite friendly, but of course people wanted to use them as resources. I'm not gonna go further into that, but I want to recommend that movie. It was very nicely made. It had nice commentary on the political climate and just in general on different things, while also being quite fun and light-hearted, because it's still a comedy. And I do believe that comedic and like more funny types of media are the best way to relay important messages, because it's kind of like a Trojan horse. So people don't expect to change their mind or learn anything, but they do. But in such, there's like a bird next to me, and they do it in such a way that is quite light-hearted, so they don't have to... I hope you understand what I mean, right? The second movie that I watched that I really enjoyed was an animated movie, and it was called The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales. It's a French movie. In French it was called Le Grand something. The Big something. Méchant. Méchant Villain. Something like that. But first of all, I would definitely recommend you to watch it in French, because I think every time you watch an animated movie or just a movie in general, you have to watch it in original language, because the actual team behind the movie is telling those actors what to do, what to say. There is a lot of control, while if you are translating a movie, of course, it's going to change and there is not going to be as much of quality control. So always try to watch movies in original language, at least that is what works for me. And yeah, French is just a beautiful language as well, so do that. The cartoon is kind of like a theater play, which I enjoyed. So it has 4 or 3 different stories, and the actors are the animals on the farm. The stories take place in different times. So one of them was Christmas, and it was quite weird to watch a Christmas movie during March, when you want to not think about winter and Christmas, etc., when you want to welcome in the nice weather. But yeah, it was a very nice movie, and it's nice to watch like a human animated, well done movie in the times of AI taking over so many creative projects, and it looks so ugly as well. So I always welcome human made art. And the last movie that I want to mention is Forrest Gump. And yes, I have never watched that movie. I know that it's supposed to be a classic. And I definitely heard of Run Forrest Run, but I had no idea where that came from. I honestly thought it was from Temple Run, like the game. Um, you probably maybe remember about that one. Everyone had it on their phones when I was starting school. Um, but yes, I watched Forrest Gump, and it is a comedy as well. It follows the life of Forrest Gump. It's quite exaggerated. There's a lot of stuff happening, but I did really enjoy it, and I really liked Jenny, the well, not main protagonist, but the love interest of Forrest, and I really saw myself in her, somewhat, because she was going for so much, trying to find out who she is, and trying on so trying on so many different faces, so many hobbies, so many different things, and I just really relate to that because I'm kind of in the stage of my life where I want to decide what to do, but I can't because I like so many different things, and therefore I never focus on one and never get perfect at something, like at this specific thing. So in that way, I really related to Jenny, and if you watch that movie, you will understand. So that was the last movie that I watched during March, so only 3 movies. Now let's go through what's next. Shows. So for the shows, I also didn't watch a lot. So I watched 18 episodes of Moomin. And Moomin, I watched that because Moomin is something that I really, really loved as a child. That was one of my favorite book series. And I don't think I actually watched the show, like ever. But I was feeling the Moomin Valley mood. Therefore, usually while eating, I was watching the Moomin Valley show and watched 18 episodes. It's very well animated as well. I believe it's a Japanese studio, and even Hayao Miyazaki was working on a bit of it. I'm not sure how much, but I am aware that there are some clips of him talking about wanting to add a tank, and To Vianson, the author, um, did not agree to that. So yeah, it's just a beautiful show that brings you back to your childhood, very carefree. I would definitely recommend, especially if you were a Moomin fan when you were a child, to just bring those childhood memories back, you know? What I do want to say is that I was watching it in English, and that really brought me out of it a bit because the English characters are named completely differently. For example, my favorite is Snus Momrek, and his name in English is Snufkin. That was very weird to me. Or Moran, who is like the main protagonist, I guess. She's called the Grok in English. Like, come on. And Fröken Snork is called, I don't remember, Maiden something. But that is the only negative about that show. So the other show that I watched is 2 or 3 episodes of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Um, Sabrina the Witch, not Sabrina Carpenter. I always, when I hear Sabrina now, I think about Sabrina Carpenter. But that show is about a witch, a young witch who is discovering, like, she's half witch, half human, and she's discovering both of those worlds. And I just really like the aesthetic of that show. It's kind of witchy, also very dark academia, you know, like studying and like all the books and bookshelves and kind of the aesthetic that I really enjoy. So a lot of the me watching that show is for the visuals, and I also of course like the story. It's quite simple but also fun and lighthearted. It also reminded me a bit of Wednesday Addams, but to me it's a bit less cringe. So yeah, now we are done with this. So I'm gonna talk about books. I'm not sure if I brought them with me. Did I? Yes, I did. So remember how I said that I was in the Moomin mood? this is the author of the book, Tove Jansson, and this is the first movement book. It's The Movements and the Great Flood. And it also has this in the beginning. But I'll try to make it focus on this thing. It's like focus. Yeah. So it's like make the movement house yourself thing. I want to put it actually as in a frame, you know, as an art piece. And this book, it's very simple, of course. It's kind of made for children. I don't actually believe in books for children because I think every book is for everyone, except for those books that are just like have 2 words or something and are made for children to learn those words or to learn how to read. But apart from that, in every book you can find something for yourself, especially because most of those books, I would assume, are written by adults. So still, there is a lot of interesting themes here. It's basically about displacement, and it's called the Great Flood. So the Great Flood destroyed their home. They're trying to find Moomin Mama, and Moomin are trying to find their dad. Well, Moomin's dad and the husband of Moomin Mama. And yeah, it's all about search for a home, while also being very uncertain because, well, your home is destroyed, so you have to find a new one. And of course, natural disasters and all of those things. And they find like different creatures. There's a lot of anxiety. This book is kind of filled with anxiety. And I really like the art that Tove Jansson, she's not just an author, but also artist. I will show you a few. Oh, this thing fell out. But like, you can see, oh, maybe there is no art here. Yeah. So the reason for me reading those is the same as the show. I was feeling nostalgic for childhood, basically. But I did really enjoy the book, and as an adult, I can actually understand some of the things that I didn't understand back in the day, I think. As I said, about displacement and trying to find a home. Yeah, a hard-hitting thing. So I think even as an adult, you can definitely read this and find something for yourself in the book. So the second book that I read, I also only read 2 full books this time, because I started reading another Game of Thrones book. I read the first Game of Thrones book while I was still in school, during COVID era. So it's taken me quite a long time to read all of those books. And because I started this book, I only read 2 books, because this book has, how many? 1,051 pages. So I definitely could not finish this in a month. Quite a big book. So that is why 2 books. But the book that I wanted to mention is this. It is Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. And funny story about this. So I had this particular book on my shelf for a long time, over a year. A classmate gave it to me, and I didn't read it because it had pages like this. They turn out. This is quite old. It's from the 70s, I think. And I thought that the book was missing pages, so I didn't care enough to read it. But then I started reading, and it didn't miss any pages. It just has some that are out of it, you know? So Agatha Christie is mainly the murder mystery type of writer, and I was aware of her because I watched some of Poirot movies. So I really like the Venice one, Death in Venice, or something about Haunted Mansion in Venice, Mansionette. And I really enjoyed some of the movies about Poirot, who is a detective from Belgium, I believe. And yeah, I never read any of her books, but this was so captivating to me. Of course, this is entertainment. This is not teaching me anything, but I think entertainment is also very important. And it's like one of those times when you're reading a book and you want to make more time to read it, and you take it with you everywhere. um, I even took it to the forest to read it in the forest for a bit, and I finished this in a few days. So it basically, I don't want to spoil it, but it's about Miss Marple, who is a detective as well, but not really. She's not a professional detective, she just likes those things. And there is a murder from ages and ages ago, and no one even knows if it is a murder or not, because nothing is certain. But the woman, the main protagonist of this book, just saw this like image of a dead woman, and yeah, that's where it goes. And it's very interesting. You know how you guess who did it, and a lot of intriguing moments. It's very well written. I also really enjoy reading like those type of more Victorian era books, because I really like how they describe like the background and the homes, and just I really like Victorian era houses. So I just really like that. But yeah, that was it. But apart from that, another thing that I read is Le Petit Free, the thing that I introduced to you in the last episode, I think. How do I show this on camera? No. Okay. Can you see it? Anyways, but I want to show you this page actually. So under the page Blossoms. And so this really focused on a lot of East Asian art, and like this one, and this technique, Le Bai technique, I believe it's called. I'm not completely sure. But it's a technique where you leave a lot of open space on the paintings so that people can focus on the details of other parts of the painting. And I found it very interesting and appealing idea, because I think, and there is a lot of talking about like how it works in your life as well. And I completely agreed with that message. It really spoke to me, because I think a lot of people try to make every minute of their life occupied with something, especially our phones. And because we don't have any free empty space, we don't have anything. There was a spider on the camera. But because we don't give ourselves any empty space to think and create, we don't have any creative ideas, and we don't prosper because, well, we're stuck doing absolutely everything just to not have an empty moment in our lives. And I think it's very important to just have calmness, like nothing happening. And this newspaper talked about that a lot. And another main point of this one was spring, because it's March, and how the spring is coming and how it's the new season for everything in your life. And that message also really spoke to me, because I'm currently I am currently going through a phase where I need to start something new, and I need to decide what I want to do, and just a lot of decisions, a lot of starting over, and I need an empty, like completely empty page to just start a new rebirth, basically. So a lot of pages of this spoke about that exact idea, and I just really enjoy their newspaper and all the art and just the ideas. They really speak to me, so I'm very happy that I found out about this newspaper. So now for the last part of this, I want to talk about music, and it is probably my favorite part. So I, of course, listen to quite a lot of music, so I'm not going to be able to talk about all of it, but I'm going to just mention my favorites and my most listened to albums and artists and just music. So quickly, for modern artists, actually, I really enjoyed Nessa Barrett's Aftercare album, especially the deluxe edition. I don't have it on vinyl or anything, but if you really if you really enjoy pop and maybe like if you really enjoy pop music and maybe darker pop music, I think you would definitely enjoy that. And of course, Kate Bush is still on top of my most listened to artists this month in March. And the things that I was listening to were mainly The Dreaming and Hounds of Love. Especially Morning Fog, I really enjoyed that song this month. I really want to get Kate Bush vinyls, all of her discography basically, but I can't justify it right now because I have 3 boxes of vinyls that I haven't listened to yet. So 2 sets of grandparents for some reason decided that they don't want their vinyls anymore because they don't have players for vinyls for some reason. And of course I graciously accepted those because I have a vinyl player. And I'm going through those and trying to find what I like, what I don't. And it's a lot of discovery of new artists and especially music from 70s and 60s, and I'm really enjoying that. I told you about all the boxes of vinyls that I have. So, in this first box, it's like an IKEA thing. Here I put stuff that I actually already listened to and that I enjoy and want to keep. And also there are gramophone platters. And yeah, so here is the first box of the vinyls that I have that I need to listen to and that are still not, you know, gone through. A lot of French stuff. Here I have some of singles, so another John Baez, and whatever. Then I have that box, and I have another full box here, as you can see. The first artist that I want to mention, I got 5 vinyls, I believe, of this artist, but I knew about her before this. I actually really enjoyed her music, and that artist is Joan Baez. And I knew of her for a while now. She's an American folk singer. She has been active since 60s or 70s, during the Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell era of music. And she's still active even today. She is also a political person. She participated in so many movements against racism, against war, she was part of so many great causes. And this is one of the vinyls that I wanted to show you. This is just a compilation album, but this has a few of my favorite songs from her, like ever. So Donna Donna, I really enjoyed that song. It's about a calf going to the slaughterhouse, basically. And I just really like the message of this song about it yearning for freedom and why does it have to die. As someone who has been vegetarian since middle school, since I was 13, I believe, so forever now, I I really connect with that song. And another song that I want to highlight from this specific vinyl is All My Trials.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your mama was born to die.
It's just a very beautiful song as well. But I really enjoy John Baez's music in general. Another music that I listen to on streaming platforms, because not all of them are, even though I have 5 vinyls, not all of the songs are available because she has so much. But Forever Young, Sir Galahad, what else can I... The Bluebird of Happiness. Yeah, those are some of the songs that I want to highlight, but honestly her whole discography is so good. So if you haven't heard of her, definitely give her a listen. And especially now, she's becoming more popular again because of that Bob Dylan movie. So yeah. Another artist that I want to highlight from my discovery from the old vinyls is Marie Laforêt. Also, I really like the colors of this. It's very nice, very summery. But Marie Laforêt was a French singer, and her music is just very enhancing. No, not enhancing. It doesn't enhance. Enchanting. Yes, like Enchanted Forest, enchanting. It's just very beautiful. It's very lullaby-ish. A lot of it. Some of the songs are different, but what I want to highlight is Tornetone. So it's a song about the passing of time and how everyone gets older and how Earth keeps turning and just everything changes. And it's very melancholy, but also beautiful song. And kind of shows that you can't stop the time from turning. And yeah, I just really enjoy her music.
C'est au village le mariage de la petite Aline. Je l'ai connue gamine.
I would definitely recommend, especially if you like French music. Yeah, another great discovery. Another highlight is this, The Harvest Moon by Neil Young. This is quite old. You can see that's like yellowish somewhat. Also, the sleeve of this is very cool. I'm not sure. I don't think it's real. I think it's just printed, but can you focus on this thing? So there are lyrics for each one of the songs, and they are handwritten. I don't think they're actually handwritten, like this is not, made specifically for that. But it's still a very nice touch. And my favorite from here, and the reason I wanted to show this vinyl is Heart of Gold. I'm not sure, maybe you have heard of that song before because it's quite a hit for the 70s. I'm not sure when he released it. It's a very beautiful song. I kind of want to cover it, so look forward to that. But yeah, that is some of the favorite art that I consumed this month. I'm sorry that this video took so long. I was not feeling well last week, so there was a skip of 1 week of no videos. And as I said, I did film the March favorites video, but I just did not feel like uploading that because I did not sound very enthusiastic and I did not look very happy or healthy either. I don't know, something happened in that video. It's just very depressing. I was going through something. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know what you think about the art that I shared with you, and maybe you share some of my favorites as well, or just, I don't know, let me know what you were listening to or reading, etc. last month. And I will see you next time. Bye. This video took so long to make, and I'm getting cold. I don't know if you can see, my hands are very white, and my fingers are getting red, and I'm dying of cold, even though it looks very nice and sunny. It's like, how many degrees is it? 10, 10 degrees Celsius, so I have no idea how much that is in whatever the Americans use, Fahrenheit. It's gonna get to 0 degrees at night, which is freezing. And you don't want to hear about this, so yeah.